believes the president can't win. The Republicans rightly bashing the president's budget proposal yesterday for not cutting enough. And now Democrats say the budget is bad because it cuts too much. Montana Senator John Tester says this budget proposal raises a lot of questions about where the priorities of this administration are. Time to let the Willis watchdogs out. Leslie Marshall is a Democratic strategist and Fox News contributor in Los Angeles. Andy Levy is an ombudsman for Red Eye on the Fox News channel. And Diane Macedo is an editor with FoxNews.com. Leslie, let's start with you. What happened? The left is off the program.
You know, I think, Jerry, that Americans don't realize the bottom line is you have to raise taxes at some point, or you have to cut from huge entitlement programs such as the war, Medicare, Social Security, which certainly the latter two neither sides want to do. I don't think the president was going to be popular with any of the cuts. I predicted that the right would say there are not enough cuts and the left would dog the cuts he did make. I am upset with some of the cuts he's made on the left because they are contrary to what he spoke about in his State of the Union address, specifically Pell Grants.
Pell Grants, LIHEAP, the program for energy that helps people who don't have a lot of money pay their energy bill. CDBG, the old Community Development Block Grant. There's a lot being cut, Diane. What do you make of it?
Anytime that you make cuts to anything, anytime you give somebody something and you take that away, whether they needed it or not when it was given to them, they're going to complain. If my friend leaves his comfy sweatshirt at my place and I get used to wearing it, even when he takes it back, I'm not going to want to give it back. And, you know, this is along the same lines. No matter where they make cuts, there are going to be complaints, but cuts need to be made. And this idea that, you know, the Pell Grants is one of the most controversial parts of these cuts. The idea that the government needs to give subsidies in order for people to go to college is not true. I went to school with help from Citibank. That was a private bank, and that helped me pay my loan. So the government does not always need to be there, and these cuts need to be made, bottom line.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a joke that there are people that think that this budget is cutting too much. I mean, I guess it's not a surprise that the people who are economically bankrupting this country are also morally bankrupt. But you've got a serious problem with reality if you think that this budget is, as one group put it, an example of right-wing radicalism. And I know that because when it comes to fiscal policy, I'm one of those wacko right-wing radicals who thinks the government shouldn't be spending money it doesn't have. I know that's weird, but at some point we're going to have to do it.
Right. Well, it's going to be a big battle, and it's going to go on forever, I think. The parent company of the New York Stock Exchange says it has agreed to be acquired by the operator of the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Guten Tag. The deal would create the world's largest financial markets company. Diane, what do you make of the Germans taking over the NYSE?
I mean, this is not new. The New York Stock Exchange merged with the European Stock Exchange in the past. The NASDAQ merged with the Swedish and so on. So it's not a new concept. Ideally, it's going to help competition. It's going to lower costs. Hopefully, they'll pass that on to the investors. But
Andy,
everything's going global.
It's the New York Stock Exchange, though. It is the symbol of American pride in our economy.
I'll tell you what the symbol of American pride was. It was Budweiser. And in 2008, Budweiser was bought by a Belgian company. That was far worse than this. But somehow we survived that.
It was far worse than this?
Absolutely, absolutely. But somehow we survived that. And I think, look, we just got to be happy that it wasn't the Chinese buying the New York Stock Exchange. But I guess since they own all the companies that trade there, it doesn't matter to them anyway.
Leslie, am I the only person here confused or concerned or worried?
Jerry, we agree on this 100%. I'm wondering, maybe if the government doesn't bail people out, hey, we just go overseas and get some rich European country to do it. You know what's sad about this? American companies, New York Stock Exchange is no exception, have proven that everybody has a price, and that's pretty pathetic.
Wow. That's another way to put it, that's for sure. All right, health officials in New York City have released a smartphone app to help you find free condoms. The app is designed to locate the 5 nearest venues, including hours of operations and directions. I wonder if they give you a price. Plus, some important tips on condom usage. I can't even believe I'm saying this, Andy.
Yeah, this is absolutely appalling. It's outrageous. It's a horribly inefficient use of taxpayer dollars. Not the app itself, which is fine. I'm talking about that it turns out the nearest free condom dispenser is really far from here. This is not...
You're upset, I can tell.
Cool. Yeah, the app itself works great.
Leslie?
Well, Auntie, being that I'm one of those immoral people, you know, I have to say I had a professor once that said, ladies, your diaphragm doesn't work when it's in the case on your bureau. The problem with this app is although you can find out where the condoms are, I don't think in the heat of the moment they're going to run out and say, hey, there is a Store 24 or 7-Eleven around the corner. You know what I mean? So great idea, but I don't think it's very practical or going to be effective.
Diane, I see people like on their way out the door to go to dinner or partying or whatever saying, don't you?
I don't, actually. I have to say, I'm with Leslie on this one. Until they can create an app where it actually spits the condom right out from under the phone, I'm not so sure that programs like this are going to be very effective. But, you know, I give them props for trying, I guess.
Yeah, there's an app for everything. Absolutely true.
Sooner or later.
Thanks, Leslie, Andy, and Diane. Appreciate your help today.